Alright, we continue on bearings. We're gonna look at three different examples. Good, so example 1, a man walks from point A to point B on a bearing of 060 degrees for a distance of 250 meters. Also remember, we write bearings, we represent bearings in 3 digits, so that's why we got it 060 degrees. Good, so this is straightforward. So a man walks from point A to point B, so you walk from one location to another location on a bearing of 60 degrees for a distance of 250 meters. Part A represent the information given information above on the diagram. Determine the distance of the man east and north of his starting point. Good, so the first thing what we'll do, we'll sketch a diagram and then we will do some calculation here. So the first thing that we need to do, I will go back to this diagram because we'll use this diagram in order to help us to sketch the next diagram. Good, so here will be our north. That's north, at the bottom is south. Here's east, west. Right? Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just write in the angle, that's important. So we know that north is taken to be 0 or 360 degrees. That's the starting point and the finish point. Good. And here we'll have 45 degrees. East is 90 degrees. 0, 90 degrees. Good. So we know that a 90 degrees should be something like this. So that's why east is 90 degrees, and then if you have a straight line we got 180 degrees. Alright, so the south you'll have 180 degrees, and here it's between, okay, let me write here, here's 270 degrees and there should be 135, 45 is 225, and that's what out of 4, that's 315 degrees there. Good, so we'll use this diagram to help us to sketch this one. So the first thing that we need is our north line. So here I'll draw my north line. North line should always be perpendicular, should not be slanted, should go straight up. So here's our north line. Good, so the man start at point A. So here's our point A, the man start. So here the man start walking and then he walk to point B on a bearing of 60 degrees. So looking at our diagram, here's 90, here's 45. So 60 will be within this range. We cannot draw 60 like put it up and then go somewhere there, right? 60 will be within this range. So I know that will be 90. If I go straight across it will be 90, and then if I divide that it will be, so let's say here is 60. It can be more than 60 or less than 60, but it's just an estimation. So here's point B. Good. So bearings always starts from the north line in a clockwise direction, so we always go like that. So we have 0, 60 degrees there. Alright. Also, you're told that the man walked for a distance of 250 meters. So this distance AB will be 250 meters. That's the distance. Good. So we are good with part A. So part A is completed. Now let us look at part B. Part B says to determine the distance of the man east and north of his starting point. Good, so first thing we'll find the distance of the man east and then we'll find north. Anyone we can work for, so doesn't matter. Okay, so here is where the man start, and east will be going to the right. So we have to find this distance here, east of the man's starting point. Right? Good, so what we'll do, we'll form a triangle. Let's see, a right angle triangle. we know going east will be 90 degrees. So if we go east, so here we have a little right angle triangle, and here is 90 degrees. If we go east, so here will be east, and here is where the man starts, so it's in line with this. So going up here will be north. So we want to find this distance here, and we also want to find this horizontal distance, which is east. So what I'll do, I know that east is 90 degrees, so from here to here, from here straight on to here will be 90 degrees, because on the diagram here east is 90 degrees. So since we got 60 there, therefore here will be 30 degrees. We can just write 30 because this part is not the bearing, so we don't have to write 0, 30. So what I'll do, let me draw back this diagram a little bigger. Good, so here we have A, we know that that's B. If we like, we can label here with C, no problem. Let me just use the letter N for north and letter E, and we know that this distance here it's 250 meters, and we just found this angle to be 30 degrees. Okay, now we want to find for the distance east. What we can do, we have a right angle triangle, and there are two things we can use in dealing with questions right angle triangle. We can use the Triggs ratio, sine, cos, and tan. Let me just write SOHCAHTOA here. And we can also use Pythagoras theorem. For us to use Pythagoras theorem, we must know the length of two sides. We don't know the length of two sides. We know one side and an angle, so we'll use the Triggs ratio. So let's see which one. Let's say if you want to find for east first, here will be the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is equal to that. Here is the angle, therefore this will be the opposite side, and here will be the adjacent side. So we want to find for east, which is the adjacent. The side that is given is the hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse. Adjacent, hypotenuse. So therefore we use cos. So let me write the cos ratio. Cos theta will equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Cos theta now is 30. So cos 30 will equal to the adjacent. What is the adjacent? It's E over the hypotenuse, which is 250. Since this is a fraction, let us make this as a fraction, and then we cross multiply. E times 1 will give us E. Anything multiplied by 1 gives us the same thing. Now we have 250 times cos 30. 250 times cos 30. Let's say if you want to write cos 30 times 250, no problem. It doesn't matter how you arrange it. With multiplication, you get the same answer. So what we need now is our scientific calculator, and we should ensure that it's in degree mode. Let's see. So you have 250 times cos 30. That gives us 216.5 if we want to write it to one decimal place, to 16.5. So our answer will be 216.5 meters. Good. So this is the distance the man is east from his starting point. The man walked 250 meters. The man walked from here to there, 250 meters. But let's say if you want to know the distance the man east from his starting point, that distance there is 250 meters. We want to know the distance the man is north. So he start here. We want to know how